Hi guys, Thogrey here with a new video, and this video will be a discussion video. I want to discuss about my feelings towards Dragonflight, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to kind of talk about the struggles about logging in on Dragonflight and finding motivation to actually play that game. I feel like there is like two worlds, which is being a DPS main and being a healer main. And there's also a world being a PvP main and a PvE main, or just like playing whatever you can main. And I wanted to talk about PvP, and I know I want to start with the goods. What is actually good on Dragonflight? I think the gameplay is not that bad. I think the gameplay is actually very good. I think it is the best PvP expansion for World of Warcraft on a system level and on a gameplay level. Let me explain. I think the gearing is just fantastic. You can pretty much gear like 2 hours or 3 hours if you're doing BGs for honor gear, and then you can just do conquest and capping. And capping is really not that hard. You can just do it while doing world PvP. You can do it in solo shuffle. You can do it in 2s, in 3s, in RBGs. Even doing random BGs and epic BGs on reset. Like every day you get like conquest, and the same for like sub activities or like daily quests. So it's actually very hard, and I mean very easy to gear. Like there's no hurdle. Same for crafting. I think again, crafting is not mandatory. It helps. It does give you like some great pieces, but I don't think it's like mandatory. Maybe just precog for casters and healers, but that's it. And you get like added boosts for melees and such. So there is like a power to it, but it's easy to get, and you just find it on Google or whatever, and you can pretty much craft it yourself, or you let it craft from someone else with crafting orders. So I do like that. It's actually very positive. I think the gameplay is also very nice. I think the talent trees are very nice. Like you're seeing on my screen, I think the talent trees are like miles better than like, let's say, Mist of Pandaria till Shadowlands talents, where you had little to no choices. A lot of specs have a lot of choices to make. Like for example, on gameplay basis, you can just choose to get magic damage taken reduced if you're facing like a cast team, or you can pick more healed focused gameplay, or more like a damage reduction gameplay, or more like aggressive gameplay. The same for enhancement shaman like 3. We made a guide with like 2 builds. You can realistically even change like into 3 or 4 builds depending on how you play, and the same for PvP talents. Although I think PvP talents could be like a whole system, which is like a talent tree where you could then choose your PvP talents and make it more personalized and with more passives and actives. That would be actually great if they did that, but I don't think they will add any effort into PvP. So that's the good. I think the gameplay is very good. I think the feel is very good. I think the addition to a solo queue system is good. Although I did say in previous videos where I think solo shuffle itself is a good idea, but I think it would be better if it was into another environment than just an arena match. I think like a 5v5 MOBA map, or even a BR map, or even, I don't know, just a not random BG, but like a battleground, like 6v6 or 7v7 gameplay would be better. I would say that there are many iterations that you can actually have for solo queue. That's actually good, but I think this iteration just will never be very cool for DPS, and that's where I'm going to head at for the bads. I think in Dragonflight, more than in Season 1 Shadowlands, I'm actually waiting way more than actually playing. And yes, you can say, go world PvP, go do dungeons, go do Mythic Plus, but I'm like a PvPer. I just want to queue up and pwn some noobs. I don't want to do world PvP versus PvEers that doesn't even know how a stun DR works, or doesn't know how to actually not back battle, for example. It's not interesting. If I want to do world PvP, I would not play World of Warcraft. I would definitely play Classic, for example. I think Classic is like peak world PvP. You can fight me on it. I think it's the best iteration from World PvP, although they kind of destroyed it in later patches, in later expansions, and overall just disappeared. And then it is now just a way to gear up. It's not, there is no objectives or bragging rights to it, right? You can just like have fun and kill people, but there is no real incentive to go World PvP except for gearing. If I would do World PvP, it would be classic, or it would be, I don't know, man. There are many games where I can have World PvP more organically, like for example Warhammer Online, for example the private server that I did talk about in my top 5. If I want to do more World PvP, I could even do Guild Wars 2. I think Guild Wars 2 has a fantastic system, although with little incentives, but with the alliance system, it's a new system in Guild Wars 2, which will make it a bit more attractive. Again, Ion, the same. Aeon Online, like for example in classic Aeon, you can really do some good World PvP. So there are games that are better at World PvP than World of Warcraft, or at least with more incentives and more organic. And right now, if I want to play World of Warcraft, at least retail, I want to do BGs, I want to do arenas, I want to do Soul Shuffle, I want to do RBGs. The problem is I'm waiting more in queues than anything else. Even for a random BG, sometimes it takes 10 minutes. So even if I want to make a video and I feel like the Soul Shuffle is just too long of a queue, like 40 minutes, I'm queue up for a BG, but I still have to wait 10 minutes to get into a BG. You're going to say to me, oh look, Thogrey, you can just wait 10 minutes and go play a BG. That's fine. Look, that is not fine, because if I'm playing League of Legends, I'm queuing at top lane, mid lane, jungle, ADC or support. I get a queue the 10 first seconds. If I'm dual queuing with a disparity of ranks, it does take 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but you're guaranteed like gameplay within 5 minutes. There is no ifs or buts. It's not like if I'm lucky to have someone to face or with me to actually play the game. And I feel like in this current age and time, and also my age as well, like I'm 20 years old, so I value my time way more. I feel like any time spent wasting doing nothing or doing something that I do not like is something that I do not want to do. I choose to do YouTube because I want to do it, because I want to make content, because I love making content. I love putting smiles on the faces. I love having discussions with people. I love to educate also some people. Again, that's also always something that I always wanted to do, like give information to people that they maybe had or doesn't really see that way, and make them see it in another way, and make them see or enjoy things differently. But right now the difficulty is I cannot show anything that I would like to show, because I'm like sitting in queues, and then like I'm waiting 50 minutes for a Soul Shuffle. Like I'm still the same rank as before. I haven't queued since the beginning of the season 2, because I was in 40 or 50 minutes queues, and for me 50, like once it's like 30 minutes, I'm just logging off. Like there is no actual thing that can hold me back on that, because I feel like, look, it's 30 minutes, but who is going to guarantee me that I'm going to get a game in like 40 minutes or 50 minutes? It can be even 2-hour long queues, and like now I'm exaggerating, but it is still a possibility, right? It's a possibility that you're waiting for nothing. It is a possibility that the time spent waiting gets wasted because I just took a piss or made a sandwich or helped my son or helped my wife. All those things are like random. I do not like it. I do not like it. And then you're going to say, look, you could play healer and you could get a group in 2s or 3s or RBGs or even Soul Shuffle within minutes. That's okay, but I do not want to play healer. I like healing, but I do not want to play healer to make content. That's stupid. I do not want to force myself into things I'm not good at to just make content. Like you can see my gameplay as a healer, like Holy Paladin, or whenever I'm playing Disc Priest, or even like Mistweaver Monk. My gameplay sucks. Again, some people might like those videos, but I do not like making them because I feel like I'm proposing garbage. That's pretty much how I see. And yes, I'm not like the best DPSer. Like I'm not like a rank 1 player as well, or a pro player. But I feel like I'm quite decent on enhancement shaman. I'm quite decent on BM hunter. I'm quite decent on destruction warlock. I'm quite decent on the DPS specs that I do play and love to play. And I do make videos that I do enjoy myself. And whenever I'm having to log in onto my unholy Paladin because I felt like I waited 40 minutes for my enhancement shaman to make a video about it, it's dumb. And now I'm talking only YouTube, but imagine you're not doing YouTube, so you're not gaining anything from it. Nothing. You're just waiting 40 minutes to have the maybe enjoyment that you can have in 10 minutes. And I'm saying maybe because someone can leave, someone can inch you, someone can just outright make you go 0-0-6 because you were bad on that round or bad on a social fall. So basically you waited for 40 minutes to get like a minus 100 CR. Is it worth it? And you're going to tell me to play healer because I want to enjoy my time and to actually spend my time and spend more time into gameplay than queues? I mean, you're right. You should play healer to actually like help queues. But if you do not enjoy healer and you want to just queue up and play, you're going to be somewhat toxic. First and foremost, I'm toxic whenever I'm forced into something I do not like. Like for example, on League of Legends, whenever I'm like auto-filled into support, for example, if you do not know what's the League of Legends, hard to like explain it in like 5 minutes. But I'm auto-filled in support. I'm not going to enjoy my time. Like if I already dodged, I'm not going to dodge again. So I will have to play support and I will have to bite all my tongue and my teeth and just go forward and hope that we do get a win. If we do lose, then I just spend my time not enjoying my time and still lose. And that's the same for me as a healer. That's the exact same. I do enjoy sometimes to heal my friends in 2s or in 3s, and sometimes in solo shuffle whenever I do a 6-0, it's very enjoyable because you did win. But whenever you lose, you're just reminded like, god damn it, those DPSs don't even interrupt, or those DPSs doesn't even know how or when to press fear as a warrior, or they don't know what intervention is. They do not know what rallying crying is. All those things make me tilt to the moon, and I don't know if you guys understand that, if you guys have the same experiences as me. Like for example, for soul shuffling, and you're like forced into healing to actually like play games, you become just someone else. And I do not enjoy that type of people, like guy I am whenever I'm like forced into something I do not like. So that's my main gripe about like Dragonflight. I feel like I'm currently sitting in 2s, in 3s, LFG, trying to find partners, which is very hard, and I didn't really farm battle tags, Battlenet tags, so I don't really have a lot of friends to play with, except my real life friends, but my real life friends, they're gone. They're not playing World of Warcraft right now. So I'm like stuck into queuing a soul shuffle or like praying to God to get like a 2s or 3s match or in a RBG match and have that group intact, because RBGs, what does happen after a loss? Everyone disbands. Or in 2s or in 3s, whenever there is a loss, oh, everyone has to go home, or I have to do something, blah, 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 we have to go, we're disbanding. Well, I know that he's still online and still playing. So, you know that that's the main thing I do not like about social. I do not like about Dragonflight. I'm actually just sitting, doing nothing, waiting for gameplay that is very short and not guaranteed that I'm enjoying my time. So I'm sitting 40 minutes for having like maybe a 10-minute gameplay of Soul Shuffle or even 2s or 3s or whatever. And then go back into queue, go back into searching groups and go back to whatever you can actually find. And that sometimes you can find some good groups and play and have an enjoyable time. And sometimes we don't. And that's the issue. Right now I'm like torn into making content on Dragonflight, because again, my YouTube channel is about Dragonflight. And I do, like, again, I'm going to be transparent. I do win some money from it. It's not like mind-boggling money. It's like not even like it's like a full salary, so I have to work still. But it does help at the end of the day. but like I'm still forced into something I do not like, or forced to wait for something I do not like, or forced to wait for something I do like, but it's not worth the time ratio. And that is my main issue. And yes, maybe you're not doing YouTube, or maybe you are actually, and you can understand me, or you maybe sometimes cannot understand the struggles of, let's say, making content. But if you are just not making content and you do value your time, do you sit 40 minutes queues and just hope for gameplay, or like doing 2s or 3s with people you do not know, and you're trying to find a group, and sometimes it does take even longer than a social match? I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. And everything that is good about Dragonflight makes queues longer. That's the truth. Like, capping is really fast, so healer doesn't really need to play healer for too long if they just want to play for cap. DPSers, they want to play because it's very fun gameplay, but the ratio DPS healers is way too low, too high, so it means that there's too little healers, so you basically have to wait 30 minutes on a minimum. And yes, sometimes it can pop after 5 minutes, but again, it is way too random. You cannot really like plan a day. You cannot say, look, I'm going to play 10 hours today because I'm like on a holiday and I want to like grind social full. I'm going to get like multiple matches. I'm going to get my CR or MMR or improve myself. The problem is on a 10-hour schedule, you might even just not only play like 5 or 6 social fulls. If you're lucky, you can play more, or if you're unlucky, you can even play less. It's not plannable. So you cannot say, look, I'm on a holiday or it's a weekend, I'm on a grind, I'm gonna play a lot of like games. You cannot plan that. Sometimes you can like chain games and play, and sometimes you cannot do that, and you're stuck with queues and disgust, because again, you're like kind of stuck because you do like Dragonflight, because I do like Dragonflight, I do like the gameplay. I'm stuck with, I want to queue for the maybe chance that it is a very small queue, and then I have the time of my life. I can record and then make a video about it. If I'm doing bad gameplay, no problem. I get like a second try or a third try to make a video. Problem is, the queues are so long. You can do some perfect gameplay. That's cool, but sometimes you can also do some bad gameplay, and then you're like stuck with some tilt, and you're going to say, look, I'm going to queue back. Hopefully this is also a fast queue. If it's not a fast queue, I'm just going to sit with my tilt for 40 minutes and then maybe play better, and maybe you're not going to play better and you're going to lose even more. So that is really a problem, and I do not know if Blizzard can fix that, because you cannot force people to play healer. And there is a lot of people that they say, look, give gold to healers, or give XYZ to healers, or fix MMR or CR, which is, again, nothing will change. You're not going to force someone playing something they do not like. I value my time more than actually gaining gold. So I know that like a subscription for a lot of people costs a lot, but trust me, the majority pay a subscription without a problem, because that's why we have a lot of players. They are not all farming golds, so they can afford that. So if they can afford that, why would you think that gold will help them to go healer? They could just say, look, I'm playing the game to enjoy myself, not playing the game to farm myself up and get like a free subscription. Personally, I will not do that. I will just queue DPS and that's it. And then you have some healers and some people that will play healer to get gold, and that's good. You will get maybe a small percentage of that, but you're not going to tell me that you're going to 100% more healers because of that change. That is not going to happen. So that's my main gripe, and I know I'm not really proposing any solutions, because there are no solutions. You cannot really have consistent 1 healer to 2 DPS ratio. That's not possible. That's just not possible. You have pretty much a lot less healers than DPS. That is why the queues are so long. It's not like it's a bit long, so it's not like a 10-minute queue like on an average. It is a 30 minutes queue on an average, and I'm like super generous for it. It means that you basically lack at least a lower ratio on the 1 to 2 healer. You need if you want to have fast games, you have to adapt it to a 0.5 or a 0.25 to 2 dealers. And that's not impossible. You cannot play a game with 2.5 person or 2.25 person. You have to play with 3 persons, and those 3 persons you have a healer and 2 DPS. And again, Shadowlands Season 1, you had to grind a lot of gear, you had to grind a lot of legendaries. But trust me, the RBG scene was booming. The 2s and 3 scenes was also booming. You know why? Because PvP gear was actually very good for PvE. So you had a lot of healers, PvE healers, that actually plays PvP for getting gear. And of course, they will get the gear and then just go away. But some people do stay because they do enjoy the gameplay or they do enjoy the grind and they want to maybe get glad. And that's why you have a lot of participation, and so you have also a lot of glads in Season 1 of Shadowlands. But right now, since PvP is like 100% optional, you don't really need to do that. It means that there is also a lot less players, and that means also that PvE is just way too superior compared to PvP. That's my main problem. I really wait. Like, again, I want to have your opinion in the comment section below. What do you think about Dragonflight? Not the gameplay, not the systems. What do you think about the time spent to gameplay ratio? If you're a DPS, if you're a healer, look, if you're a healer main, you have nothing to complain basically, except healer imbalance. But that's another problem that will get fixed with patches, or it will get worse with patches. Don't really have any like scientific thing going on, right? There's nothing that is going to actually change that, because it's balancing. It will always go to busted, to another busted spec, to a busted spec that becomes like useless, and then a useless spec becoming busted. And that's like a balancing thing that Blizzard actually does that, and it's very hard to actually like do correct balancing on MMO because there's too many factors. Like even League of Legends, you have difficulties actually balancing the game, any game really. So I feel like it's not really the fault of Blizzard that people do not want to play healer, and I do feel like there is nothing Blizzard can do to change that. That's why they actually do not communicate about Soul Shuffle, because they're going to talk about empty air. Like, there is nothing to talk about. There's nothing that they can possibly change without making triple DPS queues to actually change the queues. If they add triple DPS versus triple DPS queues, the problem is you're still going to wait a lot. Now, you're not going to wait that much, but you're going to have so fast games, and which are like not skillful. Like, again, if you're playing like rogue hunter druid versus warrior demon hunter and I don't know, man, warlock, the rogue druid hunter team will win because they are like triple stealth. They can just one tap someone from stealth, and then it's like a 3 versus 2. And I don't know. We'll have to see what they are going to do. I think they will change nothing, or at least nothing they can do will change it. Even making healers more fun will not change it, because trust me, a healer main still plays healer, even if they do not like the gameplay, because they are healer mains. They do love playing healer. They do not like the meta, they do not like how they feel while playing, but they're still playing healer. If they are playing DPS, yeah, that's good. Then you're going to take some DPSs into healers, but that's not enough. You have to really change something. I think like Soul Shuffle, like a 3v3 format is probably the problem. I think a 4v4 format would be maybe better, with just one healer, 3 DPS, and then you can just go from there, for example. Then you have like lower queues and gameplay will be a bit faster, but we will have to just buff the healers to actually be able to heal 3 other people. But like that's a proposition, but I don't really care what they're going to do. For now, I'm like a bit disgusted with the wait times, the wasted time that I actually had in Season 1, and in Season 2 I can't be arsed to actually do that again. Like, I didn't really play a lot of Warrior this season because the queues are way too long. I can't be arsed to actually wait in queues. I just do not want that. Like, whenever I'm playing other games, I'm not waiting. I do not want to wait, and there is no reward good enough to make me wait 40 or 50 minutes. That's not possible. So anyways, this was a rant. Again, sorry for the negative video, although I did say positive things in the beginning to actually soften the blow. But let's be honest, I think a lot of people are like a bit like sad about the wait times, and season 2 was hype, but it's actually not hype at all. I feel like people are like not logging in. I feel like the viewership is also super bad in Twitch on YouTube. It has nothing to do with summer. It has nothing to do with the quality of the streams or the YouTube videos. It has to do with the gameplay, and people are actually tired of waiting for things to happen. So for me, again, I'm looking to Assassination WoW. I made a video about it. If you want to check it out, description below, you will see the link. You can download it. It's a private server. And for PvP, you will wait nothing. You know why? Because there is 1v1 ranked. That's something they could actually add in World of Warcraft. And we do not care about balancing 1v1. Just put that so you can actually have something to do while waiting solo shuffle. That's something, wow, so hard to do. Or put rewards in twos. Wow, so hard to do. Again, I can't be honest. I'm not gaining any money from Blizzard, so I feel like why would I like bust my face to actually make things happen, which obviously will not happen. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Be sure to stay safe. We will catch each other very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.